Well, I got another thing I wanna. I'm just ad-libbing here on some things that happened to me in my life, and I just want to put them down. Oh Lordy, I've had a run at it. Getting old now. I'm getting close to the end of this little sprint through life. I had sometimes I'd run like the devil, like these guys running them 100-yard dashes, and other times I just sort of dragging along. It's been an up and down run, but mostly it's very few times when things were not too happy. Just a second. Okay, I'm back. I keep forgetting. I don't want to talk over about 15 minutes at a time here on these things, and I keep forgetting. I got a little timer over here to time me, and I keep forgetting to set the darn things. I keep starting off on these things without setting my timer, so then I have to stop and set the timer. But anyway, I wanted to make a talk about. I won 5 what they call service awards. They call them mean service awards. Now your guess is as good as mine as to why they call them mean service awards. I don't know, but I won 5 of them. Actually, I won 6, but I didn't get no award for the 6th one because I turned it down. But let me talk about the 5th one, the last one that I got. I was up in. Oh boy, I'm going to tell you the doggone truth. Now this may not be. It was up in Colorado, up by Denver, somewhere. It must have been close to Denver, and I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking about Boulder, but I can't be sure about that. It's been so doggone long, and I ain't gonna go get no map to look and see. It just suffice it to say that it was close to. It was some little town close to Denver. But anyway, when I got up there. See, most everybody that went up there, practically everybody that went up to that get-together, which they called, they had people from all around the country that they give these service awards to, and you go to this place and you stay there 2 or 3 days while they give you rah-rah speeches and, try to give you pep talks and all those good things and all that. It's supposed to be rewarding you for something, I don't know, like in my case, I don't. They said it's a service award. I was supposed to have been a good guy, I guess, or something. I'm not real sure what I got it for, but I didn't know I was going to get one. They told me. Anyway, always before I had flew up to these things, but this particular one, I got to where I didn't want to fly, and that's a whole new. I'd have to make another one of these things on the fact that I quit flying. And it wasn't because I was scared of flying, but that's what I told them it was. But at any rate, well, I'll just tell you, I wanted to see the picture of the guy that was flying that airplane. I didn't want to fly no airplane, no woman was flying it. I wanted them Korean pilots and them Vietnam Air Force pilots and stuff that flew them big old planes. I wanted them guys to be the one flying. I don't want no woman going through some little school here in the States flying them darn things, me on them, I mean, I'm not scared of flying. It all depends on who's the guy. When you get on one of them airplanes, I don't know if you ever thought about it or not, but man, you just put your life in somebody else's hand, I mean, you just walk on them airplanes and you don't know if this guy's drunk. I've saw stories where these pilots sometimes showed up to fly one of them darn things drunk. I at least wanted to see if he was my own type of guy. But at any rate, that's beside the point. I told him I ain't gonna fly up there. So since it was an award, they give me an extra day going, extra day coming back, and I drove on up to. I'm going to say it's Boulder City, but I can't be sure of that. Anyway, it was up. I know for a fact it was in driving distance of Denver, Colorado. I know that for a fact because I got in trouble up there. God Almighty, I mean, I just seen trouble seemed to follow me around like a little black cloud. There was a comic strip I saw one time where I think he was it must have been in Peanuts, where this guy had this little character in Peanuts had this little black cloud around him all the time, following him around. And I seemed to have one of them, I mean, everywhere I went, I'd get in trouble. See, when I got up to this place here in Colorado, there was people from all over the United States there. I don't know how many people there was, probably 20 or 30 of them. I don't know. They had a big old hotel they put us in, and they'd have these meetings, and gosh, there would be quite a few people in these meetings. It was just one of these rah sessions, they come out there, they come out there with bands and playing music and all. Boy, they was entertaining us, we supposed to be, we had all them service awards and all that good stuff. We supposed to be the elite. I never did feel like no elite, person, but that's what they was trying to do, and then they'd have these rah sessions and tell you how great IBM was and this, that, and the other, and you sit there and if you try to keep them going to sleep, you didn't want to go to sleep while somebody was telling you how great you was, But anyway, as it turned out, in I can't remember the name of the hotel, motel, where we was at, but it was noticeable that my car, which I drove up there, everybody else I think flew in there, but I drove up there. Why they let me have an extra day going, an extra day coming back, beyond my I don't know. But anyway, when I looked out in the parking lot, my car was the only car in the parking lot. Darn, I always seem to have to cough when I make one of these things. I'm sorry as I can be, but I can't help it. I'm 84 years old. I'm darn lucky I'm still even talking. Most of the folks that I was with before I left that old folks home, they were just docile, hellfire. I don't think they could make a speech in common sense. They just kind of looked like they looked like it was all doped up or something, But that's another story. Anyway, back to the service award. I got up there and everybody noticed I had a car, because when they would go to eat in the eating place where every one of us was supposed to eat, I'd go out and get in my car and I'd go to town and get me a hamburger or something. And they all noticed that, so everybody got a hold of that. 3 or 4 of them guys, I didn't know any of them, 3 or 4 of those guys, they told me, they said, hey, how about us all getting together? So we'll pay for the gas, you'll take us to Denver. And I don't know how far Denver was, God almighty, I'd have to go get a map, and I don't really care. It was within driving distance, that's for sure, because I did. That night, they all talked me into taking them to Denver. So we went to Denver, and these guys wanted to go to one of these places where they had these dancing girls and stuff, and there were 4 or 5 of us, and we sat down right on the front row. And I was sitting in between all them guys, and all these gals dancing up there with all them fancy clothes on and stuff, and some of them took about half of them off and all this stuff. And when this thing, when they just about over with, and the big session to close the place down, one of them gals come off of that doggone stage and jumped on my lap. Oh my God. Anyway, it didn't nothing come of it. We all left together, but unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize it. But they had some people that worked in IBM, that worked up there around that place that was monitoring all of us guys, and they had followed. There was 2 or 3 of them, and they had. I didn't know about this till later. 2 or 3 of them guys followed us to this Denver club and stood there and watched the whole act, And the next day, when we had our meetings, the area manager, God, I can't remember his name, the area manager in Dallas, he called it. We had that, that morning meeting. They got everybody together the next morning. I don't know, there was lots of people there, and he got up on the stage and he started this crap about talking about those people that went to Denver to this naughty dance club, this, that, and the other, and I stood up. Being the old dumb cluck that I am, I stood up and I yelled out loud, "Sir, there ain't no use you jumping on a bunch of folks right here. That was my car, and I'm the guy that drove to Denver." And oh my God, boy, he wasn't expecting that. I'm telling you, he went one way, then he went the other, then he turned around and went the other, then he laid down the stuff he had in his hand on a little podium up there. He walked off the stage, and then he come back up there and he said, "Meet me outside." I went outside. I got down the aisle. Everybody had to get out of my way while I was going to the aisle to walk outside. Me and him went outside, and he started reading me the riot act. And of course, I wasn't in no position to take no bull crap off of him, and he wasn't going to tell me what I could do with my life. Here's the area manager. This is even bigger than the big boss I got in trouble with later on or earlier on. I can't remember things. All the things that I did, I can't hardly put them in chronological order. They just show up in my mind. And I think about them, and I happen to remember that. And we were standing out in front of this building, and he thought, I'm sure that he thought that I was going to shake my boots, my knees was going to start shaking, and that I was just going to start getting on my knees, "Oh, beg, oh, sir, don't fire me." I told him what the hell I thought of him, and that he wasn't man enough to make me do a damn thing that I didn't want to do. And as far as what I did on my personal time, it wasn't any of his GD business, and that he could kiss me where the sun don't shine, And God Almighty, you should have seen the look on his face. His lips started quivering. He couldn't believe. I mean, he's one of these areas. He's a big dog there. He not only had Dallas. He had probably some places in Oklahoma, maybe Louisiana, and maybe New Mexico. Hell, I don't know where all he had. He was over. And here's this little old punk kid. Here's the old punk kid reading him the riot act. I don't know how come I didn't get fired on that. I don't know. I've had one hell of a ride through life, folks. Let me tell you. I mean, God Almighty. Would you believe after all that? I mean, he finally just shut up, and I just walked off. I walked back in the place, and him still sitting there with his lower lips quivering. In red face, boy. I mean, tell you, he thought he was going to read me out, and I wrote him out. I read him the riot act. I walked back in the darn place. And are you going to believe this? It wasn't a year or two later till they gave me another service award, but I turned it down. I get in so much trouble when I go off on them darn things. There was another one I had trouble off when I went off on one. But I went ahead, but I just decided I didn't want any more of them. I didn't want to get off somewhere and have somebody to start telling me what I can't do. Have some big boss. Oh, God, he thought he was, oh, my God, he was an area manager, and I'm just a little old peon, and he was going to take me outside, and he was going to give me a tongue lashing, and he stood there and got one. God Almighty, do I love life. Oh, my God. God has been so good to me. Oh, God. I mean, I wasn't nothing but the lowest peon you could probably get in that outfit. And I read that piece of crap. I told him I'd the old cow at the cabbage. Keep your dad blasting. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I did a little cussing in my life, and I give him a good cussing, one side and down the other. And he absolutely could not believe that somebody underneath somebody that worked underneath him would ever talk to him like I talked to him. He couldn't believe that. And I saw it in his eyes. Boy, he was shocked. I mean, I don't know, he might have had to went to the hospital after I left. I don't know. I just walked off and left him standing there, I don't know. Hell, he might have had to call ambulance for him. He couldn't believe the way I talked to him. Me as an old peon talking to him when hell he was area manager over, I think it was Texas and Louisiana and Oklahoma and Texas. New Mexico, I ain't sure, 4 or 5 states, he was over. Here's this little peon. I'll stop it.